The sun finally drops below the horizon. The sky quickly turns completely black. And now, you are completely alone. And suddenly, you realize you cannot see anything. Your eyes try to adjust, but slowly. Far too slowly for your survival. Because out there in the dark, they are already watching you. Lions don't need light to hunt. Leopards move silently like living shadows. Hyenas start laughing before you even hear their footsteps. You know you are physically weak. You are painfully slow compared to them. And in this darkness, you are completely blind. Just one wrong step, or one single snapped twig, and you instantly become their dinner. But you force yourself not to run. You completely freeze in place. Your heart hammers violently against your ribs. The dry grass suddenly rustles nearby. You hear something breathing right behind you. You slowly turn your head, but there is absolutely nothing there. Just endless, heavy darkness. Heavy, thick, and almost alive. This is your brutal new reality. Every single night, without fail. This has been happening for thousands of years. You have no flashlights. There are no street lamps anywhere. And certainly no safe rooms to hide in. It is just you, standing against the endless black. And the creatures that truly own it. These animals see perfectly in the dark. They hear every tiny sound you make. They can smell your fear before you even feel it. But what about you? You can only squint into the void. You constantly stumble over roots. You frequently trip over your own feet. Honestly, you are an absolute mess. But survival never cares about your dignity. It only cares about your brain. And your brain just realized something crucial. The night isn't just randomly dangerous. It actually follows predictable patterns. Predators always hunt at dusk. They usually rest around midnight. And they patrol again at dawn. You start noticing these exact patterns. You start remembering every detail. You start teaching them to others. You learn to observe carefully. You learn to remember clearly. You learn to teach effectively. And you repeat it every night. But patterns alone aren't enough. You desperately need an edge. Something that turns the dark against them. Then, one night, you find it. A tiny, glowing spark. From striking two rough rocks together. Or maybe lightning struck a dry branch. It doesn't really matter how it started. What matters is what it quickly became. Fire. Small and fragile at first. Flickering weakly, dangerously fragile. But you carefully feed it. You fiercely protect it. You cautiously carry it. And suddenly, the entire night changes. The shadows suddenly step back. The glowing eyes in the grass blink and retreat. You didn't just find simple light. You found a powerful weapon. An impenetrable shield. Your very own second sun. But fire is not pure magic. It demands constant work. You gather piles of dry wood. You stack it very carefully. You blow on it gently. Too hard, and it instantly dies. Too soft, and it slowly starves. You finally learn the rhythm. You completely master the flame. And while it burns, you do something else. You start digging. You eventually find a cave. But not just any random cave. One with a narrow, defensible entrance. One with tall, protective walls. One with only one way inside. You block the gaps with heavy stones. You create a makeshift fortress. Inside, you are finally safe. Outside, the predators pace anxiously. They sniff the air constantly. They wait patiently for you. But they refuse to enter. The fire keeps them completely out. The stone walls keep them out. You stay safely inside. And you don't just hide away. You actively prepare for tomorrow. You sharpen wooden sticks by the glow. You tie sharp stones to wood. You carefully test the balance. You take your first throw. And you miss completely. You pick it up and throw again. This time, you hit the mark. You finally smile with confidence. Tomorrow, you will finally hunt. But tonight, you finally rest. And you are definitely not alone. You take strict turns watching. One person sleeps deeply. One stays completely awake. Eyes fixed firmly on the flames. Ears tuned sharply to the dark. You learn to truly trust each other. Because trust is what keeps you alive. And while you watch, you start talking. You point at the shadows. You gesture with your hands. You make distinct vocal sounds. Simple grunts slowly become words. Those words grow into stories. And stories become shared knowledge. The lion always avoids the smoke. The hyena deeply fears the crackle. The bear quietly respects the heat. You carefully memorize it all. You pass it down to the young. The children listen intently. They learn every single detail. And because of that, they survive. And slowly, something incredible happens. Your brain physically starts changing. Cooking food gives you much more energy. That extra energy fuels bigger brains. Bigger brains start solving harder problems. And harder problems keep you alive longer. It becomes a perfect loop. A beautiful, yet ruthless loop. You didn't just survive the night. You actually used it to evolve. Just think about that for a second. Every time you flip a switch today, every time you charge your phone, every time you sit in a lit room, you're living in the future they built. With nothing but sparks, stones, and stubbornness. They directly faced the dark. They absolutely didn't run away. They brilliantly adapted instead. They shared everything they had. They taught the next generation. And ultimately, they won. And where is the proof? Just look around you. You are right here, reading this very script, breathing easily right now, thinking clearly and freely, completely alive, because they refused to let the night take them. But here's the real twist. The night didn't just make them stronger. It actually made them human. True cooperation, complex language, long-term planning, deep empathy, all born in the dark, all forged by fire. So next time you complain about a power outage or stub your toe in the hallway, remember this deeply. Your ancestors didn't have it easy. They had absolutely nothing except each other and a single flame. That is honestly it. That is the whole story. No magical superpowers, no hidden magic, just raw patience, unbreakable teamwork, and the courage to keep the fire alive. One log at a time, one night at a time, one generation at a time, until the darkness wasn't a threat anymore. It became a blank canvas for telling stories, for dreaming big, for everything we are today. But wait a second. If fire changed absolutely everything, what happened when they ran out of wood? What did they desperately burn next? And why did some groups vanish while others thrived? The answer will genuinely shock you. Because the next discovery didn't just keep them warm. It rewired their minds forever. So stay with me. The night is far from over.